Hello. For your second time of prayer, we're going to spend time with John chapter 21, verse 1 to 14. And I will read. After these things, Jesus showed himself again to the disciples by the Sea of Tiberias. And he showed himself in this way. Gathered, there were together Simon Peter, Thomas called the twin, Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and two others of his disciples. Simon Peter said to them, "I'm going fishing." They said to him, "We will go with you." They went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. Just after daybreak, Jesus stood on the beach, but the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. Jesus said to them, "Children, you have no fish, have you?" They answered him, "No." He said to them, "Cast the net to the right side of the boat and you will find some." So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because there were so many fish. That disciple whom Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." When Peter heard that it was the Lord, he put on some clothes, for he was naked, and jumped into the lake. But the other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land, only about 100 yards off. When they had gone ashore, they saw a charcoal fire there with fish on it and bread. Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish that you have just caught." So Simon Peter went aboard and hauled the net ashore full of large fish, 153 of them. And though there were so many, the net was not torn. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." Now none of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" because they knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and did the same with the fish. This was now the third time that Jesus appeared to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. The grace, you may do one of your choosing, but I would suggest to know Jesus intimately and to trust him fully. And for your prayer, I invite you to spend some time with imagination. Read the text a second time. This time, choose a point of view or a character through whom you may enter the scene. See what that brings to your attention. You may stop where you notice your emotions are stirred, a question arises, or maybe a word catches your attention. If you need further help or guidance, consider some prayer points. I would suggest the following. The first place to stop would be verse 2 and 3. Consider Peter's decision to go fishing. Maybe see their gathering. What is the feel of the gathering? Why would you want to go fishing? Why do they follow? The second point would be verse 4 to 7. Listen to the conversation between the man on the beach and the disciples. They don't know who he is. Picture each disciple's reaction when they get a sudden haul of fish, and then hear John's declaration, "It is the Lord." What journey does this familiar incident with Jesus take them on? Another point to stop would be verse 9 to 11. Look at the scene of breakfast on the beach. See the bread and the fish, smell the good food, hear the waves, and even the rumbling stomachs. Consider Jesus' invitation to bring the fruit of their labor to share. The next point would be verse 12 to 14. Jesus says, "Come and have breakfast." Watch him distribute the bread and fish to each disciple. What is the mood around this familiar scene? And why would that be? As you take time to pray with this passage, consider the things that are familiar and the things that are unfamiliar, especially to the disciples. After you have spent some time with your imagination, I'd suggest that you discuss what caught your attention with the Lord. And then, as always, for your conclusion, use a prayer of your choice to respond, and end your time of prayer by taking some notes of the fruit. Have a good prayer.